Hello and welcome to Crucible of Words for more dedicated legacy action. Today we are playing TONYSCAPONE'S top 8 deck from the Baltimore 10k that recently happened, and it was a mono black Saga Storm, which the deck he's known for as it's one of the several Storm archetypes he's created. And I've played it once before on the channel and it went okay, so I'm going to give it another go, but I am by no means a Storm aficionado. So what does this deck do? Essentially, we are trying to kill our opponent by casting Tendrils of Agony most of the time. We do this by using tutors and Ad Nauseam to generate loads of cards. We have a bunch of 0-drops, so we're just firing these off with a bit of disruption in the form of Thoughtseize, Duress, Cabal Therapy. And pretty much we are the Ad Nauseam line into Tendrils most of the time. We can also get Peer into the Abyss from the sideboard using a Burning Wish, which we can obviously get with a tutor as well if we need to do that first. That's pretty much how we're winning most of our starting games. However, we do have the backup plan of Urz'as Saga, which sometimes just smashes people up anyway. And from the sideboard, this becomes better because if they board in a load of cards to deal with like the spell-based combo, they can get beat down by the creatures and lose. And we have some pretty large constructs given all these 0-drops. So that's pretty cool. And if the beatdown from the Saga isn't good enough, well, we just get a Lion's Eye Diamond off of it when it pops, and we go again with the combo. I can't go into amazing amounts of detail with this deck because I'm no expert with it, but I will link in the description a TONYSCAPONE video where he plays the Saga Storm deck and talks through the deck building decisions, and I think that's really useful, so you should go and watch that if you're interested in this deck. Sideboard wise, because we've got the Burning Wish, you've got some options in here that we can find. So we've got Feed the Swarm, which is basically our only way of destroying an enchantment in black-red. We have the Peer into the Abyss, and we have another copy of Tendrils. So these are things we're finding with the Burning Wish. And then we've got Leyline Helm, which we can board in. So when we need to mess with their graveyard, we can board out things like Ad Nauseam here and board in the Leyline Helm combo. You don't really want all these 4s in your deck with an Ad Nauseam. We have a Shadowspear, and we need to go on beatdown with the Sagas. We have a Pithing Needle. We have Surge Node. This is an interesting one. The purpose of this is to put more counters on a Chalice of the Void so we can get around it. So this is sort of, instead of Artifact Hate, this can deal with multiple Chalice of the Voids over the course of several turns. We have a Haywire Might, which is a really nice tool to go and fetch with the Saga. And because we got the Lotus Petals, the Lion's Eye Diamonds, and the Mox Opals, we can generate the green mana to pop it if necessary. And against sort of these white decks that are going to be putting annoying creatures in the way, like Canonist or Thalia or something like that, we have Fatal Push. So how accurately am I going to be able to sideboard with this deck remains to be seen. But last time I played this, I think I went 3-2, and I was really close to a 4-1 with it, which is pretty good for me because I am terrible with Storm. But you don't get better by not playing something, and this is a really cool deck that I wanted to showcase again, so here we are. So before we jump into it, remember to like and subscribe, and once you've finished, why not leave me a comment? And how about checking out the Patreon in the description below? Why not just send me a couple of quid a month to say thanks for making all these videos? I'd appreciate that. Obviously, only if you've got the money available, but if you've got more money and you want to help me in a different way, I have a tier which gives you access to a big green-black Turbo Depths primer and some articles about various Marit Lage-based decks that I'm going to be releasing over coming weeks. There's already one on Rainbow Depths on there. Alright, plug over and done with. Let's play some Saga Storm. Alright, this is our opening hand for game 1. I think this is pretty good. We can do some Saga stuff and then jump into a Lion's Eye Diamond type thing. So we're going to keep this on. We are on the draw as well, so we get another chance to drop something. I think we'll probably play this Wishclaw Talisman out on 1 using a Petal. Preordain. Okay, so this is probably some sort of combo deck, so I'd quite like to find some disruption here. So the other option we have is trying to cast the Ad Nauseam. I guess we need to find another mana for the Wishclaw Talisman first, don't we? Because we've got the mana for Ad Nauseam if we draw it, but we need to tutor for it first. Okay, a Mishra's Bauble. And play this one out. This means you don't actually have to burn a Lotus Petal here, which is pretty good. We can play out this Lotus Petal, play out this Mishra's Bauble, play out this Mox Opal. Let me just think actually. So if we go 3 mana, so what we've got on board now goes and gets us an Ad Nauseam. Or goes and gets us a Lotus, Lion's Eye Diamond. So that's 3 mana. But yeah, we can't quite do it yet anyway. We'll do it next. We'll do something next turn anyway. Not sure how many turns we're going to necessarily get in this game. Preordain off of a Volcanic Garden tends to suggest something like Sneak and Show. So let's see if we can confirm that. an Atraxa. Okay, that's certainly a big monster, but it's not necessarily the worst one for us. It can find some counter magic. What we're trying to avoid, obviously, is Omniscience Emrakul. But if they have Omniscience Atraxa, it's pretty reasonable finding themselves an Emrakul. Okay, so next time we can put an Ad Nauseam on the stack if we want to. We will need to mess with our opponent's hand a little bit, I think, before we can go off. But we are under a clock. Oh my god, look at that draw. Alright, that's pretty tasty. So we can cast this Infernal Tutor with a bunch of mana up. And we have a Wishclaw Talisman when we need it. I think we lead off on a Duress. Daze, Sneak Attack. Okay, so they don't have anything here apart from a Daze. So we can take the one bit of interaction, just combo freely here. So goodbye to that. And then we can play out Leyline Diamond. We can play out Lotus Petal. So there is a question as to whether or not we pop the Wishclaw Talisman first to get like another Leyline Diamond. But I think the plan here is hold priority, cast Infernal Tutor, crack this for triple black, go and find ourselves an Ad Nauseam, cast Ad Nauseam from 20, Chrome Mox, Infernal Tutor. So we can just keep drawing cards here. Ooh, it's a bit of an awkward one to find, but we should be okay. We need some... What do we need here? We already have Storm 5. So we'll just keep going until our life total gets a bit low, because it's more or less free to do so. We can draw again without risk of dying here, so I think we'll do that. And we can go again if we want to. We don't have any 4 drops left in the deck, we only have 2 drops. Right, so we'll not repeat this now. So, we'll play out our Chrome Mox. Our Mox Opal, sorry, we'll keep this one. We'll add black. Align our diamond. Play out this ritual. Right, we can just do what we want here because we're in a good position. And our opponent can't interact, so we're just going to do our things. Cast this. And so we've got Storm 10. So we'll just Tendrils them up. And that should be lethal. Unless I've made some sort of horrible miscalculation. Alright, we win the game. Good. Begin sideboarding. So, what do we need against Sneak and Show? Pithing Needle for Sneak Attack is certainly relevant. And Haywire Might can also blow up Sneak Attack Omniscience. So these are probably the only things I'm really interested in. Now, we might be able to Fatal Push a Vesuvian Drifter. But we're kind of hoping to win before then, to be honest. So I think it's these two are what I'm interested in. We need to keep all of our hand disruption. And normally when I'm watching Tony play this deck, it's quite often baubles that get trimmed here. There's going to be some amount of meltdown that we're going to have to dodge, but the way we dodge that is hand disruption. So are we looking at Chrome Mox going? Because this is a 2-for-1 in a situation where we might not want it, and we're boarding in more artifacts, so we're going to have less black sources. So I think we'll get rid of a Bauble, and then it's a case of do we get rid of one of the Moxes, or do we get rid of a different Bauble? I guess we're not going to have that much time in this matchup, so maybe we get rid of a Bauble there. I don't know. I'm going to try the Chrome Mox. We don't want to 2-for-1 ourselves and get meltdown with it as well. Alright, we're only sort of tweaking the deck anyway, so the amount of percentage points I can lose for making a mistake with those 2 cards is not enormous, so there is that at least. So what does our hand do here? We have a Cabal Therapy, and we can play an Urz'as Saga game. So we can Cabal Therapy on 1, turn 2 make a Wishclaw Talisman, turn 3 we'll have 3 mana, 4 mana, we can turn one of that into Lion's Eye Diamonds, that's +2, so that's 6 mana. So we'll be 1 mana shy, and our deck's got a lot of mana in it. So, yeah, I think we can Cabal Therapy, and then we can buy back the Cabal Therapy again with an Urz'as Saga. I think that's okay. I'd rather see like a bunch of target discard, like Duress, Thoughtseize. But there are some specific cards we're worried about in our opponent's deck. So Cabal Therapy, if we name Show and Tell and they don't have Show and Tell, that's not the end of the world, because it means they don't have Show and Tell, which is the thing we're trying to prevent them having. We'll keep, and here we go. If we can draw another piece of discard, we can get a really nice hit off with our Therapy on the second turn. We're in an awkward situation where we want our Saga down really early, but we can't Cabal Therapy with our Saga on turn 1. Okay. We definitely have to Cabal Therapy our opponent this turn. They might have something like a Flusterstorm or Spell Pierce. Okay. Does that change things? We can play an Urz'as Saga and Cabal Therapy this turn. Which means we get to Cabal Therapy next turn as well. I don't hate that. It costs us our Infernal Tutor, which is kind of big. Alright, I'm going to go for it here. Now they could also have a Brainstorm to just hide cards. We'll name Show and Tell. That's the quickest route to their victory. Brainstorm, Brotherhood's End. Alright, we're doing that, are we? Okay, so we'll play out this Urz'as Saga. And pass turn. Alright, so they've cracked their Misty Rainforest end step, and they're going to Brainstorm now. I imagine some amount of this land is going back and getting turned into good spells. So we can't just hang out the Wishclaw Talisman because of the Brotherhood's End. Right, Volcanic Island. Interesting they didn't play a fetch to shuffle away, so they're going to be drawing the other land. Another Infernal Tutor. Okay. So we have to get rid of this Brotherhood's End, otherwise we're going to lose a lot of stuff here. So I guess they could have put it on top of their library, which would be pretty annoying for us. We can't go now anyway. Right, I think we are going to make a construct and then try and get the Brotherhood's End out of their hand, but it might be on top of their library. It should be on top of their library. Okay, it's certainly going to be on top of their library now. We could try and play the guessing game here. I think we are going to name Brotherhood's End though. Arcane of Cruelty, Force of Will, okay. We're going to have a pretty bad time when this Brotherhood's End goes off next turn. We're going to lose 2 permanents, and one of those is a 2-for-1. This is why I boarded out the Chrome Mox in the first place, but it did allow us the turn 1 Cabal Therapy, which could have saved us from a turn 1 kill off of a Sneak and Show. Sorry, Show and Tell. On the plus side, next turn we do get something off of our Saga, so we can go and get a Lion's Eye Diamond if we so wish. Alright, they're going to have to use a Lotus Petal here. Or are they just going to sneak attack in? No, it's the Brotherhood's End. Sure. So we lose some things. Understood. We do know our opponent's hand, so we know they got Force of Will, but it's not one they can actually do anything with. Infernal Tutor, you say? So how are we supposed to get black mana here is the question. We get a Lion's Eye Diamond. That's one artifact. Well, we're definitely floating mana anyway, so let's have a look. So we can go and get the defensive players to get the Pithing Needle. I don't think we want that. I think we probably do want a Lion's Eye Diamond. Then we just need any artifact to turn on our Mox Opal. Alternatively, we can get something like a Bauble, just to have a redraw, but I don't think that's where we want to be. We get a Petal, so this turn we can deploy a Wishclaw Talisman. I think we are just on get Lion's Eye Diamond, play Urz'as Saga. And then I think we'll keep the Mox Opal in hand for the purposes of dodging things like Meltdown, as well as getting more Storm Count. Although usually our deck tends to get enough Storm Count by miles, or nowhere near. A Show and Tell. Alright, this lets us get our Wishclaw Talisman. Okay. We know what our opponent's hand is, bar the one card they draw off the Arcane of Cruelty. So we might be able to win here. We have... we need to draw another mana source, I believe. So we can activate our Wishclaw Talisman, and that should hopefully do it. That is a mana source, isn't it? So our opponent has Force of Will in hand, but we don't know if they have a blue card. We don't really have a choice, because this Arcane is just going to strip our hand over the course of a couple of turns. So, we'll play a Mox Opal, which is now active. Step 1, I think, is casting this Dark Ritual. So, if we go and get another Lion's Eye Diamond, we can just get more mana here. I think that's what we're going to do. Go and get good old Black Lotus here. Cast this. So we can play around. Well, if they have a Daze, they can Force of Will here. So we'll crack this for black. Crack this for black. We'll get this Ad Nauseam. Put this Ad Nauseam on stack. Oh, wowzers. Alright, we're just in. Excellent. We should have this one. So we have a 4-drop left in our deck. So we have to stop when we get near 4 life. But we'll just keep going until we can kill our opponent here. Okay, so we have to stop here. Is that enough? We've got black floating. We've got Wishclaw. We haven't got a lot of mana. But Storm Count is 5. Is this actually enough? So Storm Count is 5. We go to 6, 7, 8, shoot 9. Yeah, okay, this is fine. And we haven't played a land yet this turn either. So let's cast this Dark Ritual. Cast this Lotus Petal. Mox Opal. Oh wait, do we have enough? We need another artifact in play, don't we? Do we have a Vault of Whispers in here? No, we do not. Okay. So, play this one out. We can play the Wishclaw here. So now there's taps for black. We can play out this. Keep this one. And 3, 4, 5, 6. So we do have enough mana just to duress our opponent first before getting the tendrils here. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5. So tap this one first because we're about to lose it anyway. Black. Black. We will crack our Wishclaw Talisman. Go and get Tendrils of Agony. Direct at our opponent's face. Same targets for all of them. And we're done. Alright. I think I navigated that one okay. Part of that was definitely down to our opponent not having the best of draws in some ways. They just had a bunch of lands. That certainly helped us out. But we did okay. We didn't overextend into the Brotherhood's End. We forced out a Brainstorm to protect the Brotherhood's End, which meant that they couldn't Brainstorm deeper on their turn, which might have made a difference and given them more chance at a blue card. And it obviously got rid of the blue card of Brainstorm for Force of Will. So, a few little wrinkles there that I think we played pretty well at. Okay, let's go to round 2. This is a very weird hand we've opened up, right? We have these lines like Diamond, which are obviously a good spell, but this Ad Nauseam being in our hand is really awkward, so we can't do an Ad Nauseam line using our lines like Diamond, so we need to find 5 mana from somewhere. Now we have 2 mana, provided we can find a black source. Am I supposed to mulligan this double lines like Diamond hand? That sounds weird. I think we might have to mulligan this just because we have the Ad Nauseam here, so these lines like Diamonds are kind of jamming us up a bit. We got Discard, got Wishclaw Talisman. We'll keep this. I think we can get rid of... Are we getting rid of a redundant Mox or an additional... I think we get rid of the Mox because we can have multiple bites at the casting Wishclaw cherry. Let's see what our opponent's playing. A Volcanic Island. A Delver of Secrets. Okay, opponent. You've made your point clear here. Right, so we go Vault of Whispers. Go for the Bauble. Go for the Mox. We'll crack the Bauble so we get more information about the top card of our opponent's deck to help our discard decision. A Ponder. Okay. So I think we are casting Thoughtseize this turn. Brainstorm, Force of Will, Orcish Bowmasters. We'll take the Force of Will. And I don't think I want to play out the... Use our mana on a Wishclaw here. Maybe that's wrong. They're brainstorming in response to make sure they're double flips. But it was flipping anyway. Okay, so we got Duress. That's not unhappy to see. We need a little bit more mana to really get going. Daze is in their hand now. So, in case you haven't guessed, the Lord of the Rings cards are online as of today, I believe. Okay, so we're going to take a hit from the Insect Aberration. Every hit we take from this makes our Ad Nauseams worse, which is awkward. So we have a Daze that we can play around. So I think we play out the Swamp. It's Lotus Petal. And we can play a Wishclaw Talisman around a Daze here anyway. And we're not popping this yet. I don't think we need to Duress right now. I think we can save that for our turn to make sure the coast is definitely clear. So we've got some mana, but not enough. We need to deploy a second Wishclaw Talisman. Alright, so they can get the Orcish Bowmasters. We're not planning on drawing cards, we're planning on... I guess it stops our Peer into the Abyss line. Alright, so here's the Bowmasters. This pings us for 1 and makes them a token. Pretty bananas. Mycosynth Gardens, how does that impact things? I think we have to play out the Wishclaw Talisman first. So we have both of these ready for next turn. And I think we'll play out our Mycosynth Gardens, which can become nothing of real note right now. We'll duress them now. We know they've got Daze. They've got double Daze. Okay. So this might be tricky because we're going to take 5 this turn, which certainly makes Ad Nauseam a difficult line. So what are we looking for here? Lion's Eye Diamond? Ancient Tomb. Yikes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So we can cast an Ad Nauseam. We can get a Lion's Eye Diamond as well. If we're doing an Ancient Tomb here. Yikes. Okay, so I think we crack one of these for a Lion's Eye Diamond and the other one for an Ad Nauseam. And try an Ad Nauseam from 4? Is that even realistic? We can't do Peer into the Abyss because of Orcish Bowmasters, because it would just ping us to death. Can we do a tutor chain that's good enough? So we haven't played any spells yet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We can go and get a Lion's Eye Diamond here. Then we can have 2 mana for the tutor plus 3 mana for 5. So we can't do a good enough tutor chain. I think we do have to do the Ad Nauseam here and hope for the best. So I'm going to activate this and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have to find a piece of mana here because our opponent has a daze. I was hoping that we could go and get the Tendrils out of our deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need to, I guess we get a Dark Ritual here. Cast this with black, and I guess we'll leave the Mycosynth Gardens up because it's a potential Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay. Gone to 2. Gone to 1. And we're dead. Alright. Pretty under the gun there. So, how are we supposed to board against this matchup? The Ad Nauseam doesn't feel great, but also Peer into the Abyss feels really bad with Bowmasters. This is like a new wrinkle in the format that wasn't around the other day. So, are we supposed to try and board into Helm combo? Seems like they can have multiple threats that aren't graveyard related because of the Bowmaster. Yeah, Bowmaster's a real shiving, isn't it? So I guess we'll get rid of this Ad Nauseam. Bringing a push. Maybe we can bring in the Peer into the Abyss and try and rely on killing the Bowmasters, but that's super sketchy. How are we winning this game if we don't have Ad Nauseam? This is where not being great at Storm is going to come back to bite me. I'm not sure how to sideboard here. They probably do have Murktides and Dragon's Rage Channelers in their deck, so it's not out of line to bring in these. But because the Peer into the Abyss is so bad versus Orcish Bowmasters, it's really throwing me. How many do they have? That's a lot of cards to board in if we want to do that. I don't think that's necessarily right. Or do we just try and Ad Nauseam quickly before they get to go? It's easier to Ad Nauseam quicker than it is to Peer into the Abyss. And Peer into the Abyss is uncastable in the face of Bowmasters, whereas Ad Nauseam is still castable. Are we even supposed to board in anything here? Maybe we board out like a Chrome Mox for a push? But that feels like planning for failure, doesn't it? We just want to do our thing. Maybe we board in a Shadowspear, and then we can race them with our constructs. That seems a bit better. Is it the Mox that goes here? I think so. Alright. If we can go for a quick Tendrils, we can do that. But I think the main plan here... So we could also bring in Pithing Needle for Wasteland. But the awkward thing is it's a singleton, and... Oh god, what does this hand do? We can cast it all on turn 1, but what does that do for us? So we can go Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal, Bauble, Ritual, Lion's Eye Diamond, cast Infernal Tutor. Like, this isn't really how we drew it up, but we can have a reasonable natural Tendrils. We need a little bit more mana for this. Kind of just want some Urz'as Sagas, really. Tendrils in our hand, like we had the Ad Nauseam before. It's kind of awkward. I guess we can... like Infernal Tutor for Dark Rituals a few times. Alright, we'll keep this. I don't think I'm particularly happy with this keep. Okay, so let's have a Bauble. Let's see what our opponent's doing over there. Force of Will. Okay. Let's jam this Ancient Tomb probably into a Wasteland. Okay, we've got another Ancient Tomb, so I don't mind if they do that. It gives us a chance to try and draw some more pieces. Alright. No Wasteland. They're probably holding up something like a Flusterstorm now, so we're going to need some discard before we try anything else. I don't hate having this. Are we just firing this off immediately around a daze to go and get another Dark Ritual? I think so, actually. We're playing it around a daze. I don't hate this. Just kind of like a play pattern you used to get from the Ad Nauseam Tendrils decks of old, where they just sort of Infernal Tutor a bunch for rituals. Or LEDs. I guess we do have to worry potentially about Cabal Therapy. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. That's not enough to do anything here. So we'll play out our Ancient Tomb and pass. We need our opponent to hurt their own life total a bit. We're going to get an Orcish Bowmasters at end of turn because it has flash as well. I think this Orcish Bowmasters card is a bit good. Yep. And it kind of ruins the Fairy Mastermind thing that people were doing because it's just better and kills Fairy Mastermind immediately. Alright, our Ancient Tombs not looking the most helpful. I brainstorm. In case you're unfamiliar with this, because it's a new card. So it's a 2-mana 1/1 flash. When it enters the battlefield, or when an opponent draws a card except for the first one they draw on each of their draw steps, this deals 1 damage to any target, then gives you a mass 1, which is make a 1/1 orc. If you already have a 1/1 orc, it puts a counter on that orc. So it's a 2-mana 2/2 flash, basically, that pings and constricts what your opponent can do. Alright, so we're going to lose an Ancient Tomb here. That's fine. I don't really care about that. This game is not going to be won and lost over these Ancient Tombs, I don't think. What is our plan? Draw some more stuff. A Bauble. So this is 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we can't storm them off. Are we just Baubling to try and find something that helps us out here? What is the thing that helps us out of this predicament? I think we do Bauble here. And because of potential Cabal Therapies, I'm going to pop this in our opponent's upkeep. A Meltdown. Okay, so we're not really playing into that right now. A Ponder. A Thoughtseize. Alright, we're going to lose our... I don't know, maybe our Tendrils here? Maybe our Lion's Eye Diamond. It could be the Tendrils, because now we have to win via Urz'as Saga or Burning Wish lines. It took an LED, sure. A Vault of Whispers. Oh yeah, we take a damage for that and give them an increased clock. Yeah, this Orcish Bowmaster's card is real strong. Let's duress our opponent first. Are we able to beat this hand before they kill us? So they're hitting us for 3 a turn. That's 4 turns. Maybe? I'm going to take the Force here. Guess we don't need to play it as Vault of Whispers. It's just asking for trouble doing that, isn't it? So we'll just pass. So the reason we didn't take the Forces is because we can Cabal Therapy both of the Force of Wills if we draw the Cabal Therapy. I'm not sure how we're going to win this game. A Murktide Regent off the top. Okay, so we're dead next turn. So we can do a little mini Tendrils, which is kind of all we have as an option, to be honest. I think we're just dead here, though. So let's cast a Dark Ritual. Let's cast another Dark Ritual. Let's cast a Lotus Petal. Let's cast a Lotus Petal. Are we playing this Chrome Mox out? I think so. It's a little mini Tendrils. It's not quite enough, is it? But we get to play the game for a couple more turns. And it's not out of the realms of possibility. We can Cabal Therapy them into some sort of Burning Wish line. That would do it. But we're probably going to get Meltdown here. Yep. Alright, let's take 1 draw and then concede the game. Sure. Yeah. Orcish Bowmasters feels like it's going to be one of the most irritating staples in Legacy right now. I think it's just incredibly strong. Obviously, if you're on the other side of it, it probably feels pretty great. But the fact that we've now got Delver decks running Bowmaster feels a little bit scary to me. Yeah, bit awkward. This definitely changes the mass, because normally you'd be trying to go into a Peer into the Abyss type deck. Post-board, you get rid of your Ad Nauseam and do Peer into the Abyss things. But that just doesn't work in the face of Bowmasters. It just completely invalidates one of our plans. And it makes all of our Baubles really bad too. Yeah. Pretty good showcase of Orcish Bowmasters though, so that's cool. Let's go to round 3. Where's our opening hand? We can Duress on turn 1. We've got a bunch of redraws if we need them. We just need another mana to make a Wishclaw. I think this is a keep, but we have a bunch of redraws, so it's kind of up in the air. Question is, how many of these do we pop? Because obviously we need to keep Metalcraft as well. Drawing a Vault of Whispers on turn 1 would be pretty good for us. An Arab Mesa. This could be like a Winota deck. That's the most common Arab Mesa deck that I can think of. Elvish Spirit Guide. Chalice for 1. Okay, we're not dressing on turn 1. Understood. Glad it wasn't a Chalice for 0. Oh, we drew a Vault of Whispers, did we? Bauble. 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 Mox. Wishclaw. And that gives us all of the artifacts for... So we have a Minsk and Boo. Okay. What else they got over there? Chaos of Chaos Adventurer. And what are they drawing? Another Chaos of Chaos Adventurer. Alright. Okay. So we can do some stuff. Gonna have to do some maths now, which isn't ideal, but... Okay. So we have 2, 3, 4 mana here. 5, 6, 7, 8 if we get a Lotus, Lion's Eye Diamond. But we need... Let me check my sideboard. It's 7 for Peer into the Abyss, if I remember rightly. Peer into the Abyss, 7. So we're 1 mana shy of Peer into the Abyss. We could wait a turn and then do it. Or we could go and get the... We could Burning Wish now and then just do the Peer into the Abyss next turn. That's probably fine too. I don't think our opponent's going to have a lot of hand disruption in their deck. So let's Burning Wish. So we can go and get Peer into the Abyss. And let's have a little Bauble here. See what they're working with over there. A Tiger. Okay, that's not a Chalice, so that's good. And then we'll pass the turn. Next turn we'll draw half of our library. And that'll be lovely. Oh wait, this Dark Ritual isn't going to make us mana, is it? That's a thought. Yeah, if I just messed that up because the Dark Ritual doesn't make us mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we are only 1 mana away, but it needs to be like a 0-drop piece of mana. We can Ad Nauseam next turn, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we go and get a Lion's Eye Diamond, cast Infernal Tutor, crack it, Ad Nauseam all the way down. Yeah, so we have that. And if we draw a piece of artifact mana, we can draw half of our library. Which I hear is quite a good amount of your library to draw. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Sure. Whatever. That doesn't really matter to us. We did not draw the artifact mana, which means we are on a Ad Nauseam line here. I'm not sure if we're supposed to play that City of Traitors out. 2, 4, 5, 6. So we don't have enough. We can't get... So we pay 1 mana to go down. So, yeah, we are just casting Ad Nauseam here. Bit of a wasted Burning Wish there. I did say I'm not an expert at this. Oh, no! We're supposed to tap the Mox Opal for that. Oh, no! That's a horrible misplay. We're supposed to tap our Mox Opal first, so we have the black mana, because we don't have Metalcraft now. Oh, no! That's so bad. That's so, so bad. And then they can just go and get Chalice next turn. Absolutely punted this entire game. Yeah. Yeah, we had the game won, I think, on that turn. And we just punted it by not tapping our Mox Opal before activating our Wishclaw. And we were very careful about doing that in a previous game. So I'm even more annoyed with myself now. So they're going to get Chalice for 0. That's going to be... That's going to be a whole thing, isn't it? We don't have any more Burning Wish in our deck. So we can't go and get any more answers to anything. Oh, dear. Okay, there's a Chaos Adventurer. Okay. So there's the Forest. They're not using the Wishclaw to go and get Chalice. Oh. Oh, they might be doing it post-combat, to be fair. But we might have a chance here. I suspect they're running more than 1 Chalice. Yep, so they activate this. Let's go and get Chalice. Go put Chalice on 0. Jam us right up. We just punted this game. That's really upsetting. Oh dear, oh dear. So we can only cast 2 drops. Can we win an Urz'as Saga game against another Chaos Adventurer and a Minsc and Boo? It's going to be a very tough ask, isn't it? I think we should just shame concede here. I don't think we're winning this game, but we completely punted that one. We had the win. Like the Chalice for 1 doesn't really affect us, but oh jeez, that's a real tilter. How are we supposed to beat what they got going on over there? This is where the Surge Node and the Haywire might come in. Do we keep in the Ad Nauseam? I think we probably do. Let's get rid of a Chrome Mox and Bauble. Do we try and go for a Shadowspear line in case I have something like Trinisphere? Or do we... I might have Blood Moons as well. Alright, we'll submit like this. Wow, that little mistake's going to haunt me for a while, isn't it? We have double discard into mana, but no payoffs. I think it'll be very defensive to try and keep this hand. But we do have a basic land we can play off of around Blood Moon. We do have rituals. How many draws do we need to make this hand good? Like, not that many. I think I'm going to keep this. Just so we can get rid of their interaction. That's it. Mulligan. Mulligan heavily. We need it. We don't deserve to win this after that punt. Alright, let's try and duress away a Chalice or Trinisphere type effect. Lotus Petal, Mindbreak Trap, Minsc and Boo. Honestly, I think I'm going to take the Lotus Petal here, and then we can take the Mindbreak Trap with the Cabal Therapy when we're ready. I don't want our opponent drawing another thing and just putting a Minsc and Boo into play on turn 1, because we definitely don't beat that. Arid Mesa was their draw for turn. An Urz'as Saga. Maybe we're doing Urz'as Saga things instead. You can Cabal Therapy away that Minsc and Boo now. and then just play an Urz'as Saga game with our opponent with no resources. Alright, let's just go up the Urz'as Saga plan and just make some big guys. Windswept Teeth and pass. Okay, we're not Thoughtseizing this turn, we're just getting our Urz'as Saga on. Maybe I should have brought in the what's it called? Shadowspear. I don't think we brought that in, did we? I think we just brought in Surge Node. Yeah, Shadowspear's still in there. Shadowspear would look pretty good on this board. Okay, let's make another guy. What are we going to fetch here? We could just have a redraw. Is honestly fine. Or we could get Haywire Might because it beats down. But I guess we have the Petal if we need it. A sort of preemptive answer to something that also attacks. That seems good to me. And I guess we'll just make our guys huge so we can kill them next turn. We've got one turn opponent. Meltdown is going to ruin us. There's a Forest. Brotherhood's End or Meltdown are things I'd like to avoid, but they are a Chalice deck, so I don't think Meltdown is going to be in their future. They are tapping red mana though. It's just a Spirit Guide to chump. Alright, that's fine. Okay, do I want this Shadowspear? If we end up in a weird trading situation, it might actually be quite good. What are we going to take out for it though? Just a Bauble? Sure, we'll try this. This hand beats a Chalice, but doesn't do anything else. I think we can do better. What does this hand do? So we go turn 1, Mox Opal, Leyline Diamond, Mycosynth Gardens, becomes a copy of Leyline Diamond, tap this for triple black, cast Thoughtseize. Yeah, this goes pretty hard. Chalice for 0. It's going to be bad for us. Chalice for 1 will be bad for us. Just don't do anything with your turn 1 opponent. Chalice for 0. Alright. That's not helpful for us. But we had a turn 1, so I think we had to keep the turn 1 there. It's now going to be somewhat challenging to play this one out. Our mana for Haywire Might is not going to help us out here, right? Because it's 0 mana. Okay, we have a potential plan. We need to draw a land next turn to get this working, but it's worth a shot. We can Thoughtseize our opponent now by filtering with this. So we'll do that, and we'll see what they're working with. Hold on, are we supposed to... No, we're not supposed to Infernal Tutor something here. Let's just Thoughtseize them. Mages of the Moon, Trinisphere, Undermountain Adventure. Okay, we're going to take their Elvish Spirit Guide here and try and leave them with nothing. If we can find a land next turn, we might be alright in this game. And we're just going to be a good old-fashioned Urz'as Saga beatdown deck. Oh, they drew it! Yeah, I think we can pack this in. Yeah, we're punished for punting the first game. We shouldn't have even been playing a third game. We had the win, and we just made a mistake. So, that's... I'll take that as a win for the deck and a loss for me. Let's go to round 4. We're on the play here. What does our hand do? Not a lot. I think we can mulligan this one. This requires a payoff to do anything. We have a redraw. We do have some hand disruption. Our opponent's got a 61 card deck, which could be nukes or spells. I don't know if we're supposed to keep this one. Is just one redraw good enough? I don't think we have stable black mana either. I think I'm going to mulligan. It's not stable black mana either. But it is a bunch of redraws. Like we can go and get something that we want with the Infernal Tutor pretty easily because of all the 0 drops we have. I guess we chuck back these. And then we see what our opponent's doing. A snow-covered island. Okay, so we're definitely not on the Urz'as spells train. And a snow-covered island on top. Do I play out these Lotus Petals? I don't think so. I think we just pass. Keep on guessing. Urz'as Saga, happy to see you. Swamp, also happy to see you too. Another Urz'as Saga. Okay, I'm just going to play out the first one. And start it all off. Don't think I'm going to use a Petal to make an Infernal Tutor there. Or use a Petal to make a construct. Ancient Tomb. Okay. What is this? Search your library for an instant or sorcery card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Okay. Show and tell. Okay, so mono blue Omnitel. That's the vibe I'm getting over there. So, how are we supposed to win this game? I don't think we're winning this game with Sagas. If they have Omniscience for next turn, we do just lose the game. If they have Emrakul, though, we can win the game. So, if we put in the Wishclaw Talisman now, we get to put in the Urz'as Saga off of a show and tell. This means if they don't show and tell next turn, at least we have the Wishclaw. Do we play out these petals? Does it make a difference? I don't know. Let's play them out there. I think our opponent's going to have anything to mess with it right now. It's a case of, do they have Omniscience Emrakul, or do they just have Emrakul? A Brainstorm. Okay, this is a good sign for us. There's the other Snow-Covered Island. Alright, maybe it wasn't such a great sign. We're going to see Omniscience here. There's an Omniscience. Are we going to see an Emrakul? Seeing another Omniscience. Invert. Search library for an instant card. Okay, so this is going to go get them something like Cunning Wish, I think. And then the Cunning Wish gets them the thing that finds them an Emrakul. The green spell that I can remember the name of. Approach of the Second Sun. Okay. And they're going to do it again. That's weird. Pretty cool. I've never lost to Approach of the Second Sun before, so that's something new to write home about. Okay, so for this thing, I think we want the Haywire Might to blow stuff up, and I don't think we really want anything else. I think that's probably about it. Feed the Swarm probably needs to stay in the sideboard. They're mono blue Omnitel, they're pretty a lot more spell heavy. So we can just trim like a Bauble here and call it good. Is an Urz'as Saga hand good enough to beat Omnitel? I don't think it is. So we can attack on turn 3. I think we need to find some sort of... I was going to say a disruption-based hand. So this qualifies. It is a little bit on the slow side in terms of what we're doing. But I think it's probably fine. We probably get rid of the therapy here. It can have higher upside. But I think I'm fine just to mess with them. These. Right, Vault of Whispers. Let's have a look at what our opponent's doing. Might as well lead off with the Thoughtseize because it can hit anything. I think we're going to take this Show and Tell. Janus Bauble. We should have done this first so we had more information about what we're taking with our Thoughtseize, to be honest. Dream Halls. Alright, that's a spicy one. If you're unfamiliar with this one, you can discard a card rather than pay the cost for it. This is both players though. So this is basically like every card becomes Force of Will where you can pitch cast it. Right, so there's a Ponder. Obviously Dream Hall is not the cheapest card. Let's Duress our opponent. Just keep it going. We'll take the Dream Halls because that's their payoff. We've got more discard for when we need to go off ourselves. Let's see a Brainstorm, I suspect. No, the Ponder. I don't know how much they're going to have in terms of fetch lands in their deck. So Brainstorm might not be that strong anyway. They did not shuffle off their Ponder, which is interesting to me. An Infernal Tutor. Are we going to be dressing our opponent here? We can cast Infernal Tutor, but it doesn't get us anywhere just yet. I think we'll just duress again. Just take out this Brainstorm or this Force of Will, depending on how we feel. Many Brainstorms and a Flusterstorm. Okay, we'll take the Flusterstorm this time around. And we'll pass. We do need to find a little bit more mana. And then we can try and do some Ad Nauseam lines. So if we... Right, so just holding up the Brainstorm and Force of Will here. A Mox. So we can have 3 mana and 4. So we're still a little bit shy here. So I think we are going to pass here. I don't really want to Thoughtseize straight away because they can draw more stuff with all these Brainstorms. So I'd rather have a Thoughtseize closer to when we're trying to go off. So we're looking for something like a Dark Ritual or something like that. Okay, so there's a fetch hand, so I can actually shuffle with this Brainstorm this time. What are you going to show us, deck? Okay, that is 2 more mana. So it's similar to a Dark Ritual in terms of total mana cost. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. 6, 7, 8. And we need 5 plus 3. So we have the right amount of mana here. So we don't want to play out the Lion's Eye Diamond into a Force of Will. We want to cast the Duress first. Sorry, the Thoughtseize first. So let's do that. Okay, are they going to Brainstorm and hide? Or are they going to Brainstorm for an answer for Thoughtseize? They drew a Flusterstorm. That's pretty annoying. I guess we're paying and then going next turn. Omniscience. We have the win next turn if this Omniscience doesn't kill us. They need a Show and Tell. They do have a Brainstorm, but they did shuffle off it. So they're drawing blind with a Brainstorm. I think we have to take the Force of Will and just try and win next turn. That might be an error, but we'll try it. I think we've played this game quite defensively. So there's the Brainstorm. Into a Ponder. Okay, that means it's very unlikely we're getting Omniscience this turn. If they shuffle this, they shuffled. Okay, we're going to go for it. An Urza's Bauble, you say? We might as well take a peek at their hand just in case we can get some more information here. Let's have a look-see. A show and tell. Okay, so we're definitely going this turn. Understood. Lines are diamond. Mox Opal. Tap for black. Mox Opal. Keep this one. Tap for black. Hot priority. Let's add this colourless as well. Hot priority. Cast this. Use a colourless. Crack this for triple black. Did they find a force of will? They did not. Okay. Let's get this Ad Nauseam on the go. Oh, they did find a force of will. Wow, his trousers. Yeah. That's a pretty good draw from our opponent there. Okay, we have Burning Wish, which is our other line for winning the game. So we can go and get Peer into the Abyss at some point, potentially. What do they pitch to this? This show and tell. Like, they're just going to try and cast an Omniscience at some point, and that's going to suck for us. Alright, let's play a creature that can attack. Boom, 18 turns. This also can blow up an Omniscience. So if we can keep an Urz'as Saga, we can put the Urz'as Saga in off of a show and tell, and that'll put a trigger on the stack so they can't cast anything like an Emrakul. Infernal Tutor not really doing anything for us right now. Let's just bring the beats, the powerful Haywire Might beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I do need quite a bit more mana to get this in. Right, we'll do some attacks. I think we'll cast this discard spell. Leyline of Sanctity. Well, you're not casting that. Let's take the Omniscience and leave you with not a lot going on. If they ever do cast Leyline, we can always blow it up if we need to. But that's good information for game 3 if we can get to a game 3. But our opponent does have a lot of turns. I would love to see an Urz'as Saga or something. That would help us close this game out in a reasonable fashion instead of this death of 1,000 cuts from the Haywire Might. The Brainstorm is a pretty good way for them to start things off. They've definitely got some cards they wouldn't mind throwing back. We got rid of 2 Show and Tells and a Dream Halls. So we're on our way to stripping all of their win conditions, but it's going to be tough. At some point they can just hard cast Omniscience. And we're not really killing them quickly enough to prevent that. A Chrome Mox, that doesn't do anything. Are we supposed to be Burning Wishing for something? I don't think so, because if we Burning Wish for Peer into the Abyss, we don't get to use Lion's Eye Diamond to cast it. But if we Burning Wish, we can then Infernal Tutor for like a Dark Ritual. No, because we still have the... We can't cast this in instant speed, can we? No. Okay, no, we can't do anything. I don't think it's worth trying to do anything here. We're just going to slowly bleed our opponent out. And hopefully it'll get there. Okay, the Mystic Sanctuary is pretty good. This is going to give them... Oh, they're getting for Forcible rather than Show and Tell. That's interesting. Do you not see that I've got such an impressive board that's beating them down? Like there's Ancient Tomb. I imagine this Leyline of Sanctity is gone. They did Brainstorm earlier. We could play this, but we'll lose our City of Traitors, so I don't think it's worth doing that unless we're doing it in one turn to get more mana. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think maybe we can cast a Burning Wish. I imagine this is going to get counterspelled though. Problem with this, it takes us off of our green mana for any sort of combo they have, which is kind of annoying. And we know they've got a Force of Will already. Oh well, they're going to have it next turn, I suppose. So we may as well just kind of keep this slow drip going until we get a bit more raw mana that we can utilise. We don't have a Cabal Therapy in our graveyard. A Lotus Petal. That certainly changes things, doesn't it? Let's try and cast this Burning Wish. I'm not expecting this to resolve, sadly. They're just going to hard cast a Force, aren't they? Yep. So now what we're doing here is playing this out, playing this out, playing this out, casting this. So we don't have anything exciting to get here, apart from our Tendrils isn't quite lethal, so I don't really want that. So the plan here is to go and get an Urz'as Saga and use that as a way of beating down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they are a single Ancient Tomb off of casting an Omniscience here. The old-fashioned way as intended. Solve the equation. So this can go and find them a Show and Tell. If they've got Omniscience in hand. They've got a Force of Will. I don't really care about that. Let's go attack first. Then we'll deploy our Urz'as Saga. We only need 1 Saga construct to win the game. Can't counterspell this. Surprised I didn't get a combo piece, to be honest. Okay, so next time we make a big guy, turn after we kill them. So we just got to fade a couple of draw steps. And we get to do this all over again in game 3. I imagine our opponent's going to draw the Omniscience at the last minute and put it in and kill us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's lethal on its own anyway, so I'm just going to see what our opponent's drawing in case it's relevant. There's that Leyline of Sanctity again. They must have put it back with the Brainstorm before. Alright, a Dark Ritual that we don't care about. Although we can just draw a Tendrils and kill them with Tendrils if our Saga for some reason doesn't get it done. Alright. Ridiculously long game where our opponent had that one-of card that just got us when we knew the other 2 cards in their hand. But yeah, alright, let's go to the 3rd game of this particular... Oh, they've scooped the entire game, the entire match. Alright, I'll take that. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, that one. Let's go to the final round, match 5. Yeah, this hand seems pretty nice to me. We'll keep this. Let's Thoughtseize our opponent. Okay. We're on some landsy type stuff. Traditionally a pretty good matchup for us. I think I would like a redraw here. Ad Nauseam. Okay, we're going to need some more mana to work with that. And our opponent's probably going to start porting us in the not too distant future. We have another Thoughtseize, but it's not going to do anything, is it? So I think we'll just play out this Saga and then jam this Wishclaw Talisman and pass. A Wasteland. Okay. So we're probably losing our Saga here. That's fair. Another Swamp. So this effectively is +1 mana if we get Dark Ritual off of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So next turn we can go for it. Are we supposed to Thoughtseize just in case? Doesn't seem like a great use of our life total, to be honest. Let me just pass here. If they port us down, we don't. We can activate the talisman in response because this is just on your turn. So the port won't be very useful to stop us here. The Saga. We just got a bunch of stuff here. All right, a Mox Diamond. What are they going to pitch to this? The other ports, yeah. So we're going to be doing an Ad Nauseam with no mana floating. An Exploration. Okay. So this could have been good if they had a second port, but they've got rid of that second port. There's a Dark Depths. Are they just going to go to try and combo us? Who knows? Alright. So we're going to try and win this turn. We've got 18 life to work with, which is plenty. They're going to port us down right now. Let's activate this. Go and get ourselves a Dark Ritual. Draw for turn. Another Wishclaw Talisman. It's not really that important to us. Vault of Whispers. Cast this Dark Ritual. Cast this Ad Nauseam. And we'll keep going until we can win the game. Okay, so starting mana, that's good. Inside Diamond, that's good. So we've got 4 in our deck, so we're just going to keep drawing until we get close to 4, I guess. Burning Wish as well. Many zeros. Right, that'll do. So let's play out this Bauble, Bauble, Petal, Bauble, Bauble, Opal. Tap this for black. We'll play out this LED, this Petal, this LED. Okay, our opponent's scooping up because they've seen all the cards in our hand, and basically we're going to play a bunch of stuff out, and then we can just Tendrils them. Like, we don't have Tendrils in hand, but we can get it off of our Wishclaw, we can get it off of our Infernal Tutor, we can get it off our Burning Wish. We have so many options to win this game at this point. Alright, lands, you say. How are we supposed to go about beating lands? Haymire and Pithing Needle seem reasonable here. Is this one where we do Tendrils of Agony? Sorry, not Tendrils of Agony, Helm of Obedience. So usually what lands tends to bring is things like Sphere of Resistance and Mindbreak Trap. So this plays around Mindbreak Trap, doesn't play around Sphere of Resistance that well though. So is this... If we're boarding this in, we don't want our Ad Nauseam. But our Ad Nauseam is probably one of our better ways of winning. So I guess we're not doing that. So it's just these 2 cards, so we're probably looking at like a Mox and a Bauble to go. Just run it back. I don't think they have chalices usually. Storm is traditionally pretty good into the lands deck. So what does our hand do here? Urz'as Saga games do not work against lands, so that's a big strike against what this deck does. I think we have to mulligan this. That's not really doing it for me. I think we mulligan again. Let's go again, I think. We have a basic land. We have a Burning Wish. I don't think we're going to do well off of 3 cards, are we? So I'd like to keep this basic land. I'd like to keep this Burning Wish. We're definitely not keeping the Chrome Mox. Do you want the redraw? Maybe. I think we'll probably get rid of these lands. Alright. I don't think we're looking in a great spot here. A Savannah. Pitching Tabernacle, not really what our deck does, so that makes sense. Surprised this is even in their deck, actually. Maybe they kept it just for the purposes of us doing an Empty the Warrens thing. That isn't really our jam. Are we going to have a redraw, or are we going to hold it for Metalcraft? What are we looking for here? We're looking for mana. So using this Bauble to try and find more mana isn't really going to work because it already is part of our mana situation. But we're already quite far off of Metalcraft. I think we're going to take a redraw here. This is an interesting decision where somebody with more knowledge would have a much better idea than me. I got an Ancient Tomb over there. Let's pass the turn. A crop rotation. Okay. How bad is it going to be for us? Thespian Stage. Okay. Feels like they're working towards the combo as quickly as possible, which is the way that lands usually has to navigate this matchup. Unless it's got prison pieces. Okay. So they can't make it this turn because they need one more mana source. Exploration. Okay. They could play an Ancient Tomb here, and that would do it for them. Or Yavimaya would have done it for them as well. So we're probably losing our swamp to the Richland Port this turn, and then next turn they make a 20/20 and kill us. Yep. Goodbye, swamp. A Vault of Whispers. I think I'd rather have the Ancient Tomb in play for right now. And then play the Vault of Whispers next turn. Just in case they have any sort of artifact hate, we at least get the mana off of the Vault of Whispers straight away. Alright, a Wasteland can take our Ancient Tomb. And they're just going to not bother porting us and just make a big guy. They have 1 card in hand. Alright, they're going for the Ancient Tomb line. I don't think they're going to port us this turn. I think they're just going to make the 20/20. Yeah, okay. So, can we do anything to capitalise on this? Okay, Vault of Whispers. So we have 3 mana here. 4 mana. This costs 3. So that puts us down to 1 mana to get like a Lion's Eye Diamond. We play this. It takes up to 2 mana. And we can Lion's Eye Diamond where X is where we have 3 mana off of our Burning Wish. That doesn't seem good enough. I don't think we can Wishclaw Talisman anything to beat the Dark Depths. Let's have a look at our sideboard. We can't even do a mini Tendrils, right? That's just not a thing we have access to. So we can play this. This is our 3rd artifact. So we have 3 mana, go to 2 mana to go and find what? I don't think we have anything in our deck that actually makes any difference here. We can go get a Pithing Needle, but they'll just make their guy in response. I think our opponent just has this one. If they click through our end turn, as soon as they start making the guy, we'll concede. Yeah, okay, that'll do it for me. Alright. Being on the play is also pretty useful here. We kind of need disruption, hand disruption, for the purposes of our opponent's Mindbreak traps if they're running them. So I think we just run it back like this. What does this hand do? It's got loads of mana, but doesn't have any payoff. We do get to Duress them on turn 1, which I like. But we are very exposed to a single Wasteland, just ruining our entire day. I think we can do better. I don't think the Urz'as Saga train is good enough in this matchup. But we have a decent chunk of mana. We just need to find a payoff. So maybe we could keep this, Duress them, and try and get them with Saga beats. That doesn't feel like a winning formula. Right, let's mulligan. I think we just need to try and get them super early. Okay. I don't hate this. We can keep this. 2 of these cards have got to go. Can we afford to be messing around with Pithing Needle here? I don't think we can. And so we're going like 1, 2, and this. I think it's the Infernal Tutor that goes. Alright. So in case of Sphere of Resistance, I think we're supposed to play these out. But we could get punished by a Meltdown or something if they have it. Right, there's a Saga. They got a Mox Diamond. They do have a Mox Diamond. Okay, so this is going to be a pretty good turn for our opponent. Field of the Dead. I doubt that's going to be relevant in this game. There's the Sphere, so we were rewarded for playing these out first. A Vault of Whispers. So we can cast our Wishclaw Talisman off of these and pass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 more mana gives us the Ad Nauseam. But how are we going to capitalize after the sphere? We kind of need to go get ourselves a Haywire Might. Maybe we should have just kept that Urz'as Saga hand and just tried to win with Urz'as Saga. Maybe that was smarter. But against the Wasteland deck, just keeping all these Urz'as Sagas just feels bad. Because they've definitely still got Wastelands in. They've still got Ports in. We saw the Tabernacle was still in as well. And we don't know if they have Maze of Ith and other stuff like that in their deck potentially. Alright, they played a Blast Zone. If they kept the Tabernacle in, maybe they'd have kept a Maze in. But I guess the Tabernacle is like hedging for Goblins. If they're going to beat us down with Saga, I would love to draw a Haywire Might. Besage you. That's very rude. Okay, we're going to get ourselves a Swamp. I guess they're not beating us down with Saga this turn at least. Yeah, our deck doesn't have the most answers for things like Sphere. Maybe we are supposed to board in the Helm combo because of Sphere. We'll play out one of our lands and pass a turn. Because Helm combo we could happily deploy around Sphere without too much issue. But we have Saga, so we have effectively 5 copies of Haywire Might in our deck. But they will be getting probably an Expedition map here, which can then get them more Sagas or whatever. Right. So you've got a Mox Diamond and then Wasteland us. Right, we got some Moxes, but they're not very helpful. We're going to get Bash for 4. The amount of turns it will take for an Urz'as Saga to tick down is going to be a lot. Bauble. We'll definitely cast in this. Let's see what they're working with. Another artifact. That's pretty helpful. If they can string together a couple of artifacts, they can change the clock. And Ad Nauseam. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're looking for a mana source here. So we can cast this in our opponent's turn for 6 mana, untap, and then do stuff with all of our cards. That's the plan. But we're not going to have the most life to work with here. So we need like a land. Cabal Therapy is not a land. We can cast Ad Nauseam right now. But what does that actually do for us? Because... oh, I know we can't even cast Ad Nauseam right now because these cost 1 to play, right? Yeah, we just got nothing going on. I think we're just dead to this thing. We're just copying this to make it bigger. The less life we have, the less useful Ad Nauseam becomes. But I think we missed our window last turn. If we'd have drawn a land, we could have taken 6, but maybe Ad Nauseam for a little bit, and that might have been enough. Vault of Whispers. So we can Ad Nauseam now, but we're dead on board. Alright. That's a failure, unfortunately. Alright, a 2-3, not a great record, but we did punt 1 round, so it should have been a 3-2 for the deck, but it was a 2-3 for my misplay because I'm bad at Storm. Let's talk about the deck. So, the deck, I think, operates quite nicely. I think it does require a lot of experience to know, like, the good hands are obvious, the bad hands are obvious, but there's this grey area in between where you sort of need to know the percentages and how often it is that this hand will work out or whatever, and I just don't have that knowledge. So I think maybe some of our mulligan decisions could have been fine-tuned a little bit through practice. I do watch all of Tony's videos, they're great. His link will be below, you should definitely watch them too. But I don't really think I can comment on this deck. I don't have the skill set to really comment on it. However, what I will say is Orcish Bowmasters is a real problem because against Delver, there's no Peer into the Abyss action allowed if they're going to be running Orcish Bowmasters in like Grixis Delver now. So that's definitely going to have to change the way that this deck operates, I think, in that matchup at least. And Orcish Bowmaster is going to be around quite a lot. So our 6 Baubles here, as well as our Peer into the Abyss lines, might become awkward for us. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on. But yeah, this deck is great. I prefer playing this to playing the Epic Storm. I think the Epic Storm is harder to play, and I don't have the time because I play lots of different things. And I'm not really a Storm guy, so I don't really have the time to learn the Epic Storm. I think this has got this is slightly easier to learn, but obviously not by a huge amount. But I think it is still slightly easier because you don't have to worry about your mana base as much and things like that. But learning how to cyber with this deck would also help. I think if we would have cybered in some Leyline Helm combo in the last one, that might have been a better option than trying to just... So my logic was, let's try and Ad Nauseam them before we can have to worry about any sort of prison effects. And that just didn't come to fruition. We also had the option of having the 4 Saga and the Haywire Might. So I was like, okay, we got 5 answers in our deck to that, but it just didn't really work out. I would normally be happy to play against lands with a Storm deck though. So there is that. Don't really have anything else to say about this one. I hope you enjoyed this one and watching me play something that's quite out of my comfort zone. I do it every now and then. I think it's a good way to test yourself as a Magic player. And yeah, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and check out the Patreon. Goodbye.